Good morning students. So today we'll start the remaining part of lesson number 3, force, that is friction. So in the past video we have discussed about the contact and non-contact force, and we have discussed the different types of forces. Now friction is a contact force. It comes into action when two surfaces are in contact. So friction is an opposing force that acts when two bodies are in contact. So the opposing or resisting force of the relative motion is friction. So friction always acts in the direction opposite to the direction of motion. Okay, so if we see this again in slow motion, we find that it slows down, or the ball slows down and finally stops as if it is experiencing a force due to the ground which is opposing its motion. So this force or this opposing force is called the force of friction. See how it stops the ball? So friction is a contact force that comes into action whenever a body moves or tries to move over a surface. It always acts opposite to the direction of motion. So friction is defined as the opposing force which comes into play when there is or whenever there is relative motion between the two bodies. Now see this here. So I have defined friction, and this friction, if you will see this, if a car moves on the road, okay, if I'll draw the road, now there is two surfaces in contact, the tire of the car and the road. So there will be a opposing force acting on the opposite direction. Opposite direction of the force means which direction of the car is moving, it will act on the opposite direction. So this force is the force of friction. Now if you can see here, the force of friction came into action when two surfaces are in contact, that is the road, okay, and the tire of the car. So this is the first property of the friction, that friction is produced when or it acts between two objects in contact with each other, or you can say when one object moves over a surface or tends to move over a surface of another object. Then the force of friction opposes the motion of an object. Now you have seen the example of the ball. What happened? It made the ball stop. So since it acts in the direction opposite to that motion, the ball immediately stopped. Then the amount of the friction or frictional force, okay, will depend upon the roughness or smoothness of two surfaces in contact. See, if the surface is rough, then more friction will be there. If the surface is smooth, then there will be less friction. Okay, so according to the roughness or smoothness of the two surfaces in contact, the frictional force will increase or decrease. I hope this is clear. See here, two boxes are there, two boys are pushing two boxes. So one is smaller and lighter, and another one is bigger and heavier. So what will happen when the boy will push the box to bring it to motion? Then he can move it easily by applying a small force. That means there is less friction produced, and by applying this less force, what we can do, we have But when the boy moves the heavier box, then what happens? The mass is more, so the boy has to apply more force. Why? Because for moving that box you have to push very harder, more friction is there. So it can be concluded that a larger force of friction is produced when the box is more heavy. That means more the mass of the object, or higher the mass of the object, more friction will be produced. So friction depends upon the mass of the object. Friction causes wear and tear of the surfaces in contact. If you will compare these two shoe soles, you can see the second one, this one is worn out. This happens due to friction as compared to the new shoes. And the parts of the machine also wear out because of the friction, and time to time they need to be replaced. Rub your two hands. Rub it fast. Then put the hands on your cheek. What do you feel? Yes, you feel heat. Okay. Why this is so? Because friction produces heat. Okay. Now, the amount of the frictional force or force of friction varies from surface to surface. That means if a ball is allowed to roll on a wooden surface, the ball will stop within very short time. Okay. As compared to the cemented surface, and in the glass surface, that will be the most distance covered. Okay. So you can do that at home and find out yourself. You will find that the force of friction is larger for wood, less for cemented floor, and least for the glass compared to the three surfaces. Okay. So these were the properties of the friction. Now after discussing the properties, we found out there are three factors that affects friction. Okay, mainly. First is the nature of the surfaces in contact. So rough surfaces will produce more friction. Okay, we will have greater friction compared to the smooth surfaces. Similarly, more the weight of a body, more is the frictional force. Okay. And third, area of the surfaces in contact. So for any two given surfaces, okay, what happens? Friction is independent of the shape or the area of the surfaces in contact. Okay. Okay. Now let's see why friction is caused. So you can see there are irregularities on the surfaces, okay, of the objects in contact. If you will see here, so through magnifying lens, if you will see, so you can find tiny hills or grooves or valleys, you can say. So when what happens, two surfaces come in contact. So what happens? These two surfaces, the hills and the valleys, they interlock with one another. And what happens? These opposes motion. So what happens if you want to move one surface over the second, suppose this black surface over the yellow one, then we have to apply force. So when we'll apply sufficient force, then what will happen? We can overcome this interlocking and we can move the object. Okay. So it is easier in the smooth surfaces because the hills and grooves are lesser. So by applying less force, we can move the object.